Shalom, Shabbat Shalom everybody. Welcome to Bet David. Welcome to those who are here in the sanctuary and of course online. And tonight we have a special welcome to Lisa Hack, who's chair of the South African Union for Progressive Judaism. And also tonight we have in the congregation Byron and Taryn Shepard, who are visiting from our sister congregation in Port Elizabeth. So a warm welcome. We'll start our service as always with the candle lighting on page 118, and tonight I'm asking Phyllis Seligman to come up, and she will be lighting the candles in memory of both her late husband Gunther and her late mother Charlotte Schrager. Page 118.
Start. Can I read first? Okay. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Today. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'mitzvotav le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. We'll continue our service on page 130. The choir will sing first, Lechuna Ranana. Just sung from Psalm 95, and I'm going to read from Psalm 96, page 131. Shirul Adonai Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai Bachu Shemo, Basru Miyom Layom Yeshuato, Sapru V'Goyim Kavodo, B'chol Ha'amim Niflotav. We're going to jump to page 132 and read the indented section with me in English. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. The sea and all within it thunder, the fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of the Eternal One. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples in faithfulness. Jumping to Psalm 98, page 133. Shirul Adonai Shir Chadash, ki niflaot asa. Sing to God a new song, for you have worked wonders. Your right hand, your holy arm have won you victory. Eternal One, you have shown your victory, displayed your justice in the sight of the nations. You were mindful of your love and faithfulness towards the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Hariu l'Adonai kol ha'aretz, pitzchu v'rananu v'zameru. Come to Psalm 99, page 135. Adonai malach yigzuamim, yeshev kruvim tanut haaretz. Adonai betzion gadol, varamhu al kol ha'amim. Yodu shimcha gadol v'norah, kadosh hu. Mighty ruler who loves justice, it was you who established equity, you who worked righteous judgment in Jacob. Exalt the eternal our God and bow down to God's footstool. God is holy. So the Psalms that we've read up till now have as their theme God as the just ruler of the earth and the peoples of the earth. And we come now to Psalm 29, and that's more like almost a meditation on the voice of God and the power of God, the inherent power. Page 136. Ascribe to the Eternal One, O divine beings. Ascribe to God glory and strength. Ascribe to the Eternal One the glory of God's name. Bow down to God, majestic in holiness. The voice of God is over the waters. The God of glory thunders, the Eternal One over the mighty waters. The voice of God is power. The voice of God is majesty. The voice of God breaks cedars. The Eternal One shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Syrian like a young wild ox. Kol Adonai chotzev le'avot esh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh. Kol Adonai yachale alot v'yachesof ya'arot, uv'hechelo kulo omer kavod. Adonai lamabul yashav, v'yeshev Adonai melech le'olam. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yavarech et amo v'shalom.
Laka dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat Beha. Laka dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat Beha. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el meyuchad, Adonai echad, shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'liti la 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 la. Laka dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat Beha. Laka dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat Beha. Likrat Shabbat likoven elcha, ki makor habaracha, mirosh mikedem nesucha, sof machase b'machshavat ki la 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 la. Laka dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat Beha. Laka dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat Beha. Mikdash melech yemelucha, תצאי מתוך ההפכה, רוב לך שבט והם מקפחה, והוא יכמול עלייך עם לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תקים עולי עם סגולה. לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לה 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 לה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לה לה.
Well, we always need to be joyous on Shabbat. That's the whole point of Shabbat. So we've greeted the Sabbath bride. Let's take a few moments. We'll greet each other. Okay, everybody, if you'll take your seats, we'd like to continue with the service. Okay, we are continuing on page 140. Mitzmo shir leyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lahagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatcha b'leilot, alei asor v'alei navel, alei higiyon b'chinor, ki simchatani Adonai b'fo'olecha, b'maaseh yadecha ranein. Ma gadlu maasecha Adonai ma'od amku machshivotecha, ish ba'al lo yeda, uchsil lo yavin et zot.
Tzadikat amar yivrach, Hatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenovon b'seva deshenim ra'ananim yihu la'agid ki Hashan Adonai tzori v'lo avlat habo.
God is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. We've come now to the Chatzi Kaddish, page 144. Please rise and recite with me in the Hebrew. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'oma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yahei shmei rabbah mavorach le'olam olomei umayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithada v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha barichu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran b'uma v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. I'm continuing on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, v'tvuna mashane etim u'machalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem, barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel ol mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or, umavir yom umevin laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yamloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150, if you'd like to read with me in English. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, eternal our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. Never remove your love from us. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We're at the Shema, page 152. Please rise.
Shema
Page 154, recite with me in Hebrew. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol lavavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol ma'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha, v'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shiftecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'aderech, uv'shofbecha uv'kumecha. Ukshatam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot ben enecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'esharecha. Laman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim lelohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liyot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Please be seated. V'ne'emar, ki fada Adonai et Yaakov v'galo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. And I apologize for all that noise that's going on downstairs. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Okay. It's, well, very loud. I'm going to continue on page 161. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth and prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Do you want me to read? Okay. Page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam, beni uvein b'nei Yisrael ot hi le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yi nafash. We've come now to the Tefillah, page 164. Please rise.
Till
page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol v'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Emaot, u'Mevi Geula livnei v'nehem, Laman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshir Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Izrat Sarah. Page 168. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Machayei akol atah Rav laHoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morid hatal. Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Machayei akol barachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofei cholim u'matir asurim, Umkayem emunato leshenei afar. Mi chamocha baal gevurot omidome lach, Melech meimitim chayei u'matzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Machayei hakol. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Page 172. Atah kidashte et yom hashvi'i lishmecha, tachlit ma'aseh shamayim va'aretz, v'erachto mikol hayamim v'kidashto mikol hazmanim, v'chen katuv b'toratecha.
V'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, le'oftecha be'emet. V'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, le'oftecha be'emet. Adai, dai, 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 hoi, dai, da, 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 yai, da, 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 lai, lai, la, 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 lai. V'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, le'oftecha be'emet. V'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, v'tah Livenu, le'oftecha be'emet.
In your gracious love, eternal our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 174. Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael. Find favor, eternal our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. V'techezena einenu b'shuvcha leTzion barachamim. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shchinato leTzion. Page 176. Modim anachnu lach, she'atah hu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu, magen yeshenu, atah hu lador vador. Nodeh lecha נספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך שבכל עת, ערב ובוקר וצהריים. הטוב, כי לא חלו רחמך, והמרחם, כי לא תמו חסדיך, מעולם קיווינו לך.
Page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam.
Please be seated. Let's take a moment for our own silent prayers. Thank you to everybody in the community choir. And of course, if anybody would like to join the choir, it's about community. And there are no auditions. You can just come and join. And I now have the pleasure, as always, of handing you over to Rabbi Ruggiero.
Shabbat Shalom. According to Plato, Socrates was once confronted with a puzzle. His friend had visited the Oracle of Delphi and asked whether anyone was wiser than Socrates. He did not think of himself as particularly wise, so he set out to investigate the claim. He questioned politicians, poets, and craftsmen, people who admired for their knowledge and accomplishments. What he discovered was that many of them genuinely knew a great deal. The craftsmen, for instance, possessed skills and expertise that Socrates himself lacked. Yet they shared a common weakness, one that cut across all three groups. Because they knew something, they imagined they knew everything. Their expertise in one area had led them to overestimate their wisdom in others. Eventually, Socrates reached a conclusion. He did not possess greater knowledge than these people, but he understood the limits of his own knowledge, and that was what made him the wiser of them all. He had not confused partial knowledge with complete understanding, or conviction with wisdom. This week's Parsha, alotcha, presents us with a similar puzzle. In the midst of a dispute involving Miriam and Aharon, the Torah pauses its narrative and tells us Now the man Moshe was very humble, more than any human being on the face of the earth. Given everything we know about Moshe, this is a surprising description. He confronted Pharaoh, challenged the most powerful empire of his age, led a nation out of slavery, argued with God, shattered the tablets after the sin of the golden calf, and guided the Israelites through years of uncertainty in the wilderness. The Torah might have called him courageous, or visionary, or determined, or prophetic. It calls him anav, humble. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs asks how Moshe, of all people, can be described this way. He was no shrinking figure. He was willing to confront kings and challenge God more than once. Rabbi Sachs suggests that anav in the Torah does not mean thinking poorly of oneself, but being free from constant preoccupation with oneself. The humble person, he writes, simply has more important things to think about than their own standing. That reading becomes significantly richer when placed alongside a passage in the Talmud. The sages teach that the Shekhinah, the divine presence, rests only upon one who is Gibor, Ashir, Chacham, and Anav, strong, rich, wise, and humble. Two features of this list give modern readers pause. The first is the apparent incongruity of humility alongside qualities that sound like external accomplishments. It calls to mind the old joke about the person who announces with evident satisfaction that they are not only perfect, they're also very humble. The second is wealth. Does the Talmud genuinely mean that financial prosperity is a prerequisite for the Shekhinah to rest upon someone? The rabbis themselves provide the key. In Pirkei Avot, the Mishnah turns these concepts on their heads and transforms them from external achievements into inner qualities. Who is wise? One who learns from every person. Who is strong? One who masters their own impulses. Who is rich? One who is content with what they have. Who is honored? One who honors others. Openness to learning rather than accumulated knowledge becomes the measure of wisdom. Self-command rather than physical force becomes the measure of strength. Contentment rather than accumulation becomes the measure of wealth. When the Talmud says the Shekhinah rests upon the Ashir, it is pointing towards someone who has cultivated the capacity for genuine satisfaction, not someone who has filled the storehouse. The comparison between the two lists, then, reveals something further. 3 of the 4 categories are identical across both texts, and the 4th is where they diverge. Where Pirkei Avot speaks of the person who is honored, the Talmud speaks of the person who is humble, and the substitution is instructive. According to the Mishnah, honors belongs to the person who extended to others, which means the quality that generates honor is already a form of outward orientation, of attention directed toward other people rather than toward oneself. Understood this way, honor and humility share the same underlying logic, and the anav is someone whose attention is genuinely and consistently engaged by what lies beyond themselves, by the dignity and worth of the people around them. Read through the lens of Pirkei Avot, the Talmud statement is telling us that the Shekhinah rests upon someone who masters their impulses, is content with what they have, learns from every person they meet, and does not arrange the world around their own centrality. The Torah's description of Moshe as anav may point toward what the tradition saw as his most characteristic quality, the feature of his personality that made everything else about him serviceable to others. Moshe is unquestionably the central human figure of the Exodus story. He confronted Pharaoh, received the Torah at Sinai, guided the people through 40 years in the wilderness, and is presented by the Torah as the greatest prophet Israel would ever know. And yet, at the end of the Torah, we are told that the location of Moshe's burial place is unknown to this day. The verse has generated many interpretations, but one familiar reading holds that the Torah is actively resisting the conversion of his grave into a sign of veneration, withholding from later generations the monument around which a cult of personality might otherwise have formed. A similar pattern emerges in the Haggadah. To tell the story of the Exodus without placing Moshe at the center might seem nearly impossible, yet the traditional Haggadah comes remarkably close to doing just that. Its attention rests on God, on covenant, on liberation, on the journey from slavery to freedom, on the rabbinic act of interpreting and reinterpreting that journey across generations, and on the claim that every subsequent generation is called to understand itself as having made it. Jewish tradition does something unusual when its greatest leader, it acknowledges his greatness fully while declining to make that greatness the story's gravitational center. He remains a servant of the covenant rather than its defining figure. There is a final image I would like to use that actually comes from the opening of this week's Parsha. It begins with the lighting of the Menorah, and Midrash Tanhum, I imagine, is one lamp kindling another. Each new flame receives its light from the one before it, yet the original flame loses nothing. We tend not to see the things we value the most this way. Power tends to function as a finite resource. It's exercised by one person, diminishing what remains available to others. Light refuses that logic, and so the Midrash implies does genuine leadership. A teacher who helps a student discover real capacity does not find themselves with less of it. The giving leaves them unchanged or better than unchanged. The Menorah models an understanding of leadership in which illuminating others constitutes the highest expression of authority, and it may be this logic that helps us understand why the Torah calls Moshe a Nav. An attention so consistently directed toward the people he served that the authority he carried was always in his hands, a form of service. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to Rabbi for his words. And now we're going to, we've got a very lovely little ceremony. We've our new Mancom. I'm going to read out the names and what their portfolio is, and I'm going to ask them to come up because Rabbi's going to give them a blessing. So we're pleased to introduce our new leadership, Ian Mann, who's the chairperson. Up you come. Rudy Bursky is not here. Rudy is our vice chair. Leroy Barnes, who's not here, is the secretary. Jacko Swart, please come up, community development. Gerald Sobel, who is in charge of security, and Stephen Kaplan, who is our treasurer, and Cynthia Rosen and Ian Mann are responsible for Chesed. Yes, we are. So face the congregation, and we will have.
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors. We gather this Shabbat with gratitude and hope as we install the members of Beit David's management committee. We ask your blessing upon those who have accepted positions of leadership and service within this sacred community. Haim Yitzchak ben David Koppel Verachel, Ian Mann, Chair, Reuven ben Yehoshua Eliyahu, Rudy Buirsky, Vice Chair, Aryeh ben Yaakov, Leroy Barnes, Secretary, Shimon ben Eliovel Vesara, Stephen Kaplan, Treasurer, Yaakov ben Avraham Vesara, Yaakov Sword, Community Development, Yehuda Chaim ben David Vedvora, Gerald Sobel, Security, and Shulabit bat Avraham Vesara, Cynthia Rosen, together with Chaim Yitzchak ben David Koppel Verachel, Ian Mann, in the work of Chesed. Bless them with wisdom to lead, humility to listen, courage to make difficult decisions, and compassion to remember that every discussion, every policy, and every decision ultimately concerns human beings created B'Tselem Elohim in the divine image. Bless Ian as chair, that he may guide this congregation with vision and patience. Bless Rudy as vice chair, that he may be a source of wise counsel and steadfast support. Bless Leroy as secretary, that his work may strengthen clarity, transparency, and understanding. Bless Stephen as treasurer, that he may steward the resources of this congregation with integrity and care. Bless Yaakov in community development, that he may help deepen the bonds that unite this community and welcome new people into its embrace. Bless Gerald in his responsibility for security that all who enter these doors may gather in safety and peace. Bless Cynthia and Ian in their work of chesed, that they may help our community embody kindness, compassion, and mutual responsibility. Our sages taught, V'chol ha'amilim im hatzibur, yichyu amilim imahem l'shem shamayim. Let all who labor on behalf of the community to do so for the sake of heaven. And they taught, Lo alecha malacha ligmor, v'lo ata ben chodim leibatel mimena. It's not your responsibility to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. The work of building a sacred community is never completed by a single committee, a single leader, or a single generation. Each generation receives the blessing of those who came before and accepts the responsibility of carrying that work forward. Yet our sages offer a remarkable promise to those who labor faithfully on behalf of the community. Va'atem maleh ani alechem sahar arbe ke'ilu vasitem. I credit you with a rich reward as if you had accomplished it all. May the members of this management committee, therefore serve L'Shem Shamayim for the sake of heaven. May they work together with wisdom and respect. May their disagreements be guided by a shared commitment to the welfare of this congregation. May they find strength in one another, inspiration in the generations who built this community before them, and joy in the sacred responsibility they now undertake. May the Holy One bless the work of their hands. May Beit David continue to grow as a community of prayer, of learning, of justice, of compassion, and of belonging. And may those who serve this congregation know that their efforts matter, that their labor is holy, and that through their service they help write the next chapter in the story of this holy community. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Amen.
Thank you again to Rabbi. And we now have birthday blessings. Has anybody had a birthday in May? And if so, come up for a blessing. One person, two people, that's great. Okay. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the warm rays of sun fall upon your home, and may the hand of a friend always be near. May green be the grass you walk on. May blue be the sky above you. May pure be the joys that surround you. May true be the ears that love you. Mazel tov. And happy birthday. And hang on, don't go.
Birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Ad Me'at Keveh
I'm going to, before we do the Aleinu, I'm going to do the prayer for healing on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. And this week, it's Dario Guerrero, Nan Sauer, Roxanne Harris, Goretti Montero, Naomi Schmidt, Brett Kaminsky, and Leo Fradkin Harlev. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. We've come to the Aleinu, page 587, and I shouldn't have let Simon go down. Simon Demant is Ark opener in honor of his recent birthday. Ark closer, I'm asking Dr. Elgar Regali in memory of his mother, Anne Regali. If they'll please come up. And it's page 587. And please rise. 587. 587. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. page 588. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל. ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו, אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Therefore, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the perfection of our world, guided by a sacred covenant drawn from human and divine meeting. V'ne'ema v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, ushmo echad. Please remain standing, and the choir will be singing Yesh Kochavim on page 595.
יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק השם עצמם עבדו ונע. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכנו. אורות אלה המביטים בחשכת הליל, הם שמרים להטם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמרים להטם את הדרך, את הדרך. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember, as we live our days. These are the ways we remember, we remember, we remember, we remember.
And this Shabbat, we remember those who passed away recently. Brian Grunebaum, mourned by his family and friends. And from Bet David, we remember Agnes Margaret Teutsch, grandmother of Emily Kark. Doreen Greenberg, dear friend of Ashley and Desmond Sweek. Brian Milner, brother of Eric Milner. Gunther Seligman, husband of Phyllis Seligman. Sidney Solomon, father of Linda Beale. Anne Regaly, mother of Dr. Elga Regaly and grandmother of Lauren Kupritz. Charlotte Schrager, mother of Phyllis Seligman. Jeff Frank, father of Haley and Tracy Frank. Monty Diamond, father of Lisa Diamond. Louis Jolson, father-in-law of Danny Jolson. Jeffrey Yates, husband of Adrian Yates. Livy Saul, who is remembered by me. And May Smith, grandmother of Luann Tunison. From Bet Menorah in Pretoria, we remember Barney Druyan, father of Heloise Kelly, Miriam Kleitman, mother of Shimon Kleitman, and Ralph Felix Grunbaum, husband of Gail Grunbaum. If anybody has a name they'd like to call out, please do so now. We'll start at this side. And we also remember all those who have lost their lives in wars and those who have no one to remember them. Please join me in the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'olma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman karib v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavorach le'olam olomei umaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithada v'yithale v'yithalal shmei dekutsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'miran bo'oma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, Amen. Please be seated. Thank you again to everybody who joined us, both in person and online. Thank you to my choir, the choir master, our technical desk. Cheder classes are happening tomorrow morning, 8:45. Thank you for all those who've given donations, including Stephen Kaplan in memory of his mother, Sonia Kaplan. We've got the Tikkun Olam project, so we're appealing to congregants to bring empty coffee and pickle jars and donations of lentils, split peas, soup mix, and stock cubes. And please, for all other announcements, look in the Adkan. There are some copies at the back, and if you want them emailed to you, we will organize that. So we're going to conclude with the singing of Shalom Aleichem. 528, I think it is.
627. 627.